Hello everyone, this is Varsha and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So once again, we are here with you all to discuss the success story of one more achiever of our, and this time we have with us Mr. Satyen Parikh. So Mr. Satyen started his professional career in the year 1982. Over 29 years as professional, he took up many leadership positions in notable MNCs like Borland, Citrix, F5 Networks, IBM, etc., before embarking on his entrepreneurial journey focused around empowering minds. He has engaged with many large, small enterprises, startups, as well as mentored women entrepreneurs, engineering students, providing them with insights and value added to achieve their aspirations. His relentless pursuit to empowering minds is a culmination of his vast experience, learnings, and passions in supporting countries' immense talents to re examine methods, candidly introspect, and set pragmatic expectations for creating desired success and happiness. But before we actually start the conversation with the body, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
So, okay, sir. So before we actually start the conversation, I'm very keen to know that how did you actually land up to the idea of choosing this particular profession for yourself?
Okay. Yeah. It's a question that continues to haunt me even now. I'll be very honest and candid with you. So after having spent almost 30 odd years as professional, uh, heading various MNCs operations for India, South Asia, and even some of the Asia Pacific market, I kind of started sensing that the joy of work, the passion, the kind of invigoration that one has as a part of really working seems to be missing. And I didn't know why. There were quite a few other things that were happening on the personal front as well, which probably kind of could have created that emotional baggage onto me in terms of not enjoying what I do or whatever. But 2010 ended up being that kind of defining year for me to just put a pause to professional career and see what is it that I can really do. Uh, at the hindsight, I may want to sound very, very, kind of I would say Nostradamus like saying that, oh, this is exactly what I wanted to do, and therefore this is what I am here. But that would be the biggest lie of my life. So that was not the case. I have continuously evolved myself. When I started off, the only thing that I really wanted to bring to uh, the table for anyone and everyone was sharing my experiences, sharing my learning, my knowledge base, and see how it can help them in whatever way it is. And what I noticed also was the fact that a lot of professionals and a lot of people, businessmen and otherwise, either they are successful or they are happy, but it is not both together. So, what is it that can really bring both of these aspects together as well? And the underlining part was always the fact that how well empowered you are in terms of the decisions that you are taking, how empowered you are in terms of being self-belief and convinced about the actions that you need to do. So, in short, uh, why do you do what you need to do? Uh, is something that people need to ask themselves, and that is exactly where my journey probably started off. So, I enrolled myself with the International Certifying Federation as an associated and accredited coach. And that was again to kind of just identify uh, whether my thoughts and my understanding and belief and whatever I am thinking that this can be a value add to people is really the case in the contemporary world. Because having spent 30 years starting my career in 1982 to where I stood in 2010, I wanted to see if that is resonating. So that was a validation and verification that I wanted, with which I did that course. Thankfully, a lot of those kind of were validated, and it gave me a tremendous confidence to really get out and start networking and seeing where I can help. So that's where the journey began, and I would say that it continues to be so. However, for the aspiring and budding entrepreneurs, I would just like to also share a few tips for the readiness. If you want to really move out from your professional life to being pursuing an entrepreneur life, just ensure that you have a few of your uh, kind of things in the right place. So try and ensure that there are zero debts. Try and ensure that your family is well uh, enveloped with the decision that you are going to take, so that they can support you and create less of destruction in your mind, so that you can unilaterally and uniformly focus on the goal that you want to set up. Ensure that you have enough uh, in your savings and in the kitty, so that the family is not impacted in any cost of living that they had as a part of your having your regular paychecks coming in from a professional life. So a few things that these are my personal experiences which I kind of try to put in place, and the journey continues.
Lovely, sir. So now, nothing comes that easy to us, and I'm pretty sure that you must have also had certain sort of challenges in your professional role. So tell us a bit about those challenges and also the overcomings for the same.
Yeah, so I think challenges again are two kinds. One, which are internal within yourself, and there are always those inner demons that create that self doubt, that create that apprehensions, that create that feeling of regrets in terms of having taken a leap of faith in you know not really knowing where your paycheck is going to come from to pay your bills and keep the lights on in the house. So yes, those kind of demons need to be confronted with your self belief and confidence, and the fact that you have to ensure that you continue to evolve yourself. So one of the key things that I have tried to measure on myself is that whatever be the situation, fundamentally do not regret any decision that you have taken. It can be good, bad, ugly, it can be right, wrong, doesn't matter. But just stay with that, because that is the fundamental part of providing you that level of conviction and belief that even if it has not worked now, it will work later. Second is that I have a firm belief that whatever you start afresh, the probability of you being successful is 50%, which is great. And the other probability is that you will learn. You will continuously learn from uh, the lack of success as you aspire, or what people may term it as failure and whatnot. So in any case, it's a good win-win situation that one would encompass in really trying out something and challenging yourself. So get that embedded in yourself. Uh, the other thing that in the kind of work that I have been doing, I have tried to keep three very strong, I would say, mantras. One is that I need to continuously exercise my act of humility. I need to be humble in all my approaches. Second is that I have to be extremely empathetic towards uh, whatever is being shared with me, or whatever I am going to be basically responding to. And the more adaptable I am, uh, the more I will be obviously be able to confront challenges and circumvent them. So that's the kind of way that I basically approach worship.
Right, so now, according to you, how can one be benefited from the coaching interventions?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because there is a lot of, I think, confusion prevailing in the way people talk three words in the same breath. Uh, Either it is coaching, or it is consulting, or it is mentoring. And let me just, through this opportunity that you have created for me, let me just help people understand that coaching is non-imposing. Coaching facilitates thinking. Uh, if you are looking for ready-made answers to your problems, or if you are looking for prescription, so a great example that I can give to everyone here is that if you are a patient and you are visiting a doctor, and the doctor writes a prescription for you, that is more on the consulting framework. It is not coaching. Coaching will be where you are facing with certain dilemma, you are facing with certain predicament, you're facing with you're having some challenges, and you are trying to find answers to it. Coaching is an intervention that facilitates and that instigates and provokes your thinking. Uh, a coach will always resist in giving the answers, even if they feel that this is the best thing for you to do. So, the whole aspect here is to ensure that it comes from within. You get inspired and you get being aware of what really is going to work for you, or how are you going to act on a certain issue that you have in mind. Consultation and mentorships are that way a bit different because there can be a certain amount of prescriptiveness, or there can be a certain amount of imposition that essentially entails. A mentor can probably also say that, hey, listen, in my experience or in my knowledge, I feel that if you do these five things, maybe this will work for you. A coach will never say that. So that's where the fine line of differences are, and people need to understand that. Also, it is important for people to recognize that if you have to be ready to be coached, you need to do your own preparation. So it is not always the case that you are going to someone with a problem and you're waiting for that person to give you the solution. It may not work. The person who is giving you the solution uh, does not have comprehension about the situation, the circumstances, the mindset of the people that you're dealing with. So it would be from his or her perspective. And if you just follow it blindly, it may, and most of the time, it may not work. So never try and attempt that. So I hope this kind of provides some clarification for people.
Very rightly said, sir. So now, everyone do plans for the future. So, what further plans are you having for yourself or for the company in the upcoming years? So, if you can share a bit of those plans with us, please.
Uh, I would say that I'm loving this work that I'm doing. It has given me in the last 11 years the kind of learning that it has provided me, the kind of knowledge that it has helped me, the kind of people that I have met, whether they are engineering students, almost 8,000 plus engineering students across B class cities in our country, the length and breadth of our country. The women entrepreneurs that I have dealt with, almost 80 plus women entrepreneurs that I have had the opportunity and privilege to mentor, various startups that I have interacted with, various professionals I have interacted with who were impacted because of their job loss, and just helping them first gather themselves up, and various businessmen and entrepreneurs and enterprises. So uh, I would only want to thank Almighty and the love and blessings of all the people around me to be in this space. And I don't think I'm going to go anywhere else, but just continue doing this and keep touching lives of as many people as I can and see if there is a way that I am able to bring in that 1% of extra happiness, smile, cheers, joy, and success in their lives. So that's my future plan.
Right, sir. And I would like to wish you all the very best for all these plans of yours.
Thank you so much, Varsha. Thank you so much.
Right, sir. So now moving ahead, what do you have to say on this Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign? Though the concept of becoming Atmanirbhar has been there with us since very long, but these past 2.5 years has made us all realize that how important it is actually. So, what do you have to say on this concept of becoming self-reliant, and also how is your company working towards this?
Yeah, so I think by nature, India as a country has always had that very strong enterprising and entrepreneurial spirit. There are different nomenclatures that are given, including the jugards that we do, or including the kind of various walks of activities that people do in their day-to-day lives. So India has that inherent DNA within itself. Of course, thanks to the widespread diversity, as well as the challenges in terms of the demand versus supply, the infrastructure issues, or the ways of doing business, or the challenges that confront our country time and again, could have kind of dented that level of enthusiasm in some quarters and could have uplifted the same in some quarters. So it's just that it is a good and very encouraging sign for the central government to also make a conscious attempt for people to realize the whole bona fides, credentials, and advantages of being self-reliant. Now, again, my view is that every person has an inherent leadership trait within him or her. So it's not that there are some who are, to be classified as leaders and the others have to be the followers and all that stuff. That's not the point. And that is where my personal belief of where this self-reliant Atmanirbharta is really craving to achieve as a message. It wants every citizen of the country to realize his or her leadership trait and work and hone their skills and capabilities around those levels and get it to benefit themselves. Because if that happens collectively, it automatically translates to the goodness for the country, the benefits for the country, and the wellness for the country. So that's my take, and I would say that my whole focus around empowering minds is a kind of a small contributory step towards ensuring that people identify the leadership traits within them. They identify the joy, the passion that they can work around. Uh, Whether you are a working professional, whether you are a small-time entrepreneur, whether you are a kirana shop owner, or whether you are a large enterprise wanting to go from one step to another, it doesn't matter. But you need to have the right level of empowerment and enablement to keep aspiring and reaching for goals. So that would be my take, Varsha.
Amazing, sir. So now, as you know, that this year India would be celebrating the 75th year of independence, which is famously known as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So, what do you have to say on this, as in how far we have come, and what is your vision pertaining to this?
Yeah, so if I were to look at just my career progression of 1982 when I started my first job, there were no cell phones, there were no laptops, there was no internet and whatnot. So if you look at just that journey, and if you look at where we are today, like we are having this conversation, we used to see those in movies when we were child, and we used to imagine or wonder, is this really going to be possible in our lifetime? And here we are today, where the technology has made so many things possible. India, as a country, and my belief is that India is at the pivot, and India is the centrifugal piece for the globe, where there will be a lot of emanation of technology and the use of technology. Our 75th year of independence is to celebrate that level of true free will and free spirit that every citizen in our country would be able to lap up, would be able to leverage for their self goals, and would be able to empower themselves with a new them, whatever it could be. Many may have aspirations of just saying that, oh, can I just get another 20% increase in my pay? To somebody who would say that my business is now getting a few $1 million. Can I get zeros added to it? Or somebody who's dealing in a stock market saying that, how do I really get my stocks, and specifically in the current stages where the markets are on a free fall and a lot of things happening, to a lot of MSMEs or SMEs who have gone through the COVID pandemic, and they have still been able to hold fort, to a lot of strugglers. So each one of them, it is extremely important for them to realize that there is a lot within them still to be achieved. So celebrating this milestone independence is just another way of trying to remind yourself that you are born to be successful, you are born to be leader, and you are born to contribute something as a payback to the country that can only see it to another level in the map of the world. I'll again just go back to one of my experiences, Varsha, that in the early 80s and 90s, we had created very specific documents and dossier in terms of introducing the foreign nationals and people that we used to meet in terms of what is India, what is its demography, and all that stuff. Today, you don't have to do that. So India has come a long way, but still has a lot more milestones and things to conquer. So this is a good halfway step that India has come to.
Very rightly said, sir. So now moving ahead, and though I know it's always a very wonderful feeling when we get recognitions for our work, still I would love to know from you that what are your feelings on winning this Indian Achievers Award for you?
So thank you for honoring me with this recognition, accolade. Uh, because frankly, when I started the work, and I still believe so, my real success is in kind of getting a validation that I have been able to contribute to someone's life, in making that better or making them feel happy about. So there have been a lot of instances that has really given me that feeling, that elation. This is a great endorsement. Yes, it feels good. Yes, it feels a kind of giving you that impetus and energy that you are just not done yet. You have a lot more to do, and there are people who are looking up to what you can do for them and how you can contribute to bringing in some happiness, cheers, joys in their lives. So I would say thank you, Indian Achievers Forum, for really bolstering up that and giving me that right level of impetus at the time when probably I could have been asking myself that how much more do I go and what not. But now I think uh, I'll just go on and on and on. So thank you very much for that.
Right, sir, and I once again congratulate you on this achievement of yours.
Thank you so much, Varsha. Really appreciate it. Thank you and your team for the wonderful honor.
Right, sir. So now, as we have discussed a lot about your professional role and also the future plans that you are having, tell us a bit about the CSR activities too that you are involved in, please.
So again, my CSR activities are also what I do is I have done a lot more of specific sessions for students, which is all pro bono. And what I do there is I kind of help them understand the real definition and meaning of what is employability and what does it mean by being employable. So in that journey that I have had across multiple years, and I continue doing that in some form or the other, uh, helping those kids in the uh, rural colleges or villages or not in the metro cities to understand that when you get in, even if, say, for example, there is a student in uh, Sangli or Satara or someplace in Hubli or Hassan or distant places in Gujarat or wherever it is in the country, their comprehension about getting a job in a metro city, their understanding of what, and how they need to present themselves, they can get very easily overwhelmed. And the brightest of minds can probably therefore get impacted in the way they work because of that overwhelming nature of looking at the metro cities and having and seeing people doing what they have never seen in their life and whatnot. So it's important that employability or their recognition of such differences and how they can adapt to it becomes very critical. These are something that I see never being very openly spoken to the kids, or they are only pushed more into the academics and looking at how they fare into the interviews or the internships, and then they are just put as like a pigeon among the wolves. So it kind of becomes very very difficult for them. So I would want to continue doing that as much as I would want to keep doing the mentoring to women entrepreneurs, aspiring women entrepreneurs, and seeing how and what can I do for helping them achieve their goals and success. So that's my small, very small contribution to whatever we can call it as CSR or to the society or whichever way it is.
Lovely work you are doing, I must say, sir. So now moving ahead and coming to our last question, what is that one mantra or message you would like to give to our younger generation to become successful in their careers?
Okay. So I wouldn't really call it mantras per se, but I would just want them to recognize that each of them has it in them to be successful the way they want to be, and they have it in them to aspire goals. But that is easily said than done because fundamentally uh, it is important to recognize uh, how are you going to really achieve your milestones or the goals that you have set it for yourself, and are you seriously and honestly working towards that? Are you waiting for validation from people around you saying that you are doing a good job and then go and progress further? Are you being a silent learner who absorbs the good, bad, ugly with uh, the worst of the situations and finds a way out of those? Are you looking to be a proactive initiator or a passive follower? Are you having the mindset of waiting for orders to come to you, or are you looking at the situation more holistically, understanding why that situation is in the current place and how you as a professional are going to contribute to make it better or address the situations? uh, Another thing, a small thing that I would want to say, which is a part of my leadership workshops that I do, there are two things that you have to be very careful about. First and foremost is this whole mode of self-deception. I do have a very independent workshop on that, but what is self-deception? Self-deception is nothing but you are betraying your own true feelings. So here is it that I know as a professional in this particular company, I can really do this work and I can achieve it, but I am not going to do it. I'm going to wait for my boss to tell me so that boss understands that I am the only one who can do it. And then only I will do it. Here you are betraying yourself. Your true feeling is that why shouldn't I just go prove, just get this job done because that is going to be in the interest of the company rather than worrying about the results, rather than worrying about waiting for achievements and accolades and pats on the back into saying that, oh, how good you are and how good you. I mean, people are wanting to be getting that achievements, but they are not looking to work towards it proactively. So get rid of that mindset. The other simple thing that I would want all the people to recognize is that never live with your problem statement. For example, we are supposed to have this discussion, but I have a few pending items that I need to do. So what do? I kind of just say that no, sorry, I don't have time to get this interview done or to get this particular session done, and I keep it for the next week. Uh, as I get into the next week, I will continue to have the same problem because that is stuck in my mind. And my mind has said that this doesn't seem to be in your priority. If I convert that problem statement, which I'm staying with, into a question, how do I find time to get this session done today? My mind will start working very, very differently and it will start throwing up probable solutions from which I will be able to select the right option for me. So any situation, personal, professional, if we stay with the problem statement, you will continue to be kind of, it's a vortex. It will drag you down into that problem. To rise up, convert that into a question, and voila, you probably have the answer for yourself. So again, don't look for answers from others and don't look for validation from others. You are your best source of inspiration. You are your best source of aspiration. You are your best source of finding answers. So focus on that.
Very rightly said, sir. And I'm pretty sure that these words of yours will surely be helping out the youngsters out there.
Hope
So,
so.
right, sir. So, thank you so very much for joining with us today, sir. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the success for all your future endeavors as well. And may you continue to inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so very much for joining.
Thank you, Varsha. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Bye.
Right.